Your way to Target Field for the Prep Championship Series. And 1 week ago, we sat here and covered a lot of items about our 4 different locations and seeded our teams. And we no longer have a 1 seed left, which is interesting. So great baseball, really nice job by our teams, our schools, and we had great weather. And we'll talk about weather, unfortunately, next week as we look ahead as well. But we have Laura here from our office, Shannon, obviously. Thank you to Shannon for all of her work throughout the tournament. You're going to hear from Tim. One of the highlights at Target Field is the headshots that they do for the scoreboard. And we have Jason from our office as well. Tom Groutman, our tournament manager, will be here as well. And I'll ask Tom to speak a little bit on your schedule. But purpose of this meeting is just to transition to Target Field for Monday for a great day of baseball, we're hoping. And to make that possible, again, there's a bunch of information you need to be aware of, and we're going to start with Laura here today, items on the website, and then also ticketing. Laura?
Good morning, everyone. And as Bob said, congratulations on your trip to Target Field this upcoming week. Just a few reminders for you, your communities, your spectators, as you make this trip and prepare people to follow along and or attend. Our baseball page, which can be found underneath sports and activities from the top button at the website, the blue buttons underneath state tournament information, which you see on the top graphic, is the go-to for all things baseball. Apparel will be sold on site on the concourse at Target Field. It can also be ordered online, and those links are on that baseball page. Tickets, there's a link to tickets from that baseball page and also a shortcut up at the top of our website. Prices are there, $15.50 for adults, $10.50 for students. And then a reminder that all of the games on Monday will be streamed by NSPN.TV. If there are changes to the baseball schedule, we will use alerts that are placed at the top of our homepage of our website. You see that right now. We've had a change in our lacrosse schedule, and those have been posted there. That is one of the ways that we'll communicate out with you and spectators if things should happen to change as we move into Monday. Bob, with that, I'll push it back to you.
Great. Again, really nice job by our member schools. And as we transition here into Target Field, here's some questions that really came out of the quarterfinals and semis. First time I've had the question in 7 years with baseball and uniform colors. And what do we do if we both wear a black jersey or a black uniform or a dark uniform? NFHS rules do not say a home team has to be dark and an away team a light color like some of our others. So you can coordinate with each other if you want on what uniforms you're wearing. We're not going to ask you or tell you what you have to wear. It does get a little bit more difficult up in the PA booth if both teams are wearing dark as they try to call a game. But again, not a rule that we have to worry about. Home team has been a popular question. You will be in the first base dugout. And then we're going to spend some time on contingency plans here. I spent quite a bit of time with the meteorologist down at Target Field yesterday, as well as team personnel for Target Field. Right now, we're looking at close to 80% chance of being interrupted by weather of sorts. Storms in the morning, rain in the afternoon. That can change again, obviously, but we're going to do everything we can to get those 4 contests in at Target Field. If we are delayed, we will continue throughout the day until we can start that Class A contest. All right, so even if we are delayed, we're going to continue to start that Class A contest and then move our way, obviously, towards our 4A championship. So if we're able to get all 4 in, they may not be scheduled or played at their scheduled time, or they might. We'll keep you up to date. We'll call you as soon as we possibly can. If we get a game or two in and are interrupted and have to move, Target Field is not available for over a week. CHS Field is not available as well for 6 days. And so our contingency plans will be St. Cloud, either puts in Faber or both, depending on the scenario. And Chaska is available, and I believe Jordan is available for us as well. So if things don't go as planned on Monday, we will let you know where we will be playing. Let's say we finish the 1 and 2A championships and are unable to complete 3 and 4A, we'll probably go with more of a Metro flavor. But if we have all 4, be prepared that we may go to St. Cloud too. Great venues that we have available that can accommodate, but we are limited with our time and space at Target Field and CHS, unfortunately, for this year. So like I said to the Twins yesterday, we are going to expect the best and expect to get all 4 games in and have an amazing experience at Target Field, but we're also going to plan for contingency plans for the worst if the weather does not cooperate on Monday. That being said, if you have questions here throughout, please throw those into chat. I'll have Shannon unmute you at the end, and we're going to continue to move forward here onto the next slide, Shannon. You'll hear from Tim and Tom here shortly about how we can best accommodate you. As always, please rely on your participation guide. There's so much more detail than just what we have here. And in the recording, we'll send this all back out to you so you see your schedules, what it looks like if we stay on time. Those that are left here, our final 8 teams, you did a really nice job at our venues of making sure your dugout personnel is accurate and correct. Makes it that much easier to host you. We did have some teams that really struggled on who was in their dugouts and who shouldn't have been in their dugouts. But we're going to focus on those that are here and that have done a really nice job. So thank you for the work that you've done on that. Remember, that hasn't changed. Make sure that they're all fully eligible. We did have an injury, at least on one of our teams. Follow the substitution policy with an injury if necessary. And one of the highlights again at Target Field is the headshots up on the even bigger scoreboard than they've had in the past. I'm going to have Tim talk about that afterwards as well. So we'll get that taken care of on the day of with the detail that goes up on that board. Do not bring water containers, no Gatorade, Powerade. You'll get to know Larry pretty well down there. He's their groundskeeper. He's amazing. Very, very sensitive again to what is on that field or what potentially could be on that field. Again, if you're a 4A school, can't have spikes or cleats on the field during warm-ups. So bring those turf shoes or tennis shoes, whatever you'd like to warm up, but you can't do so until those cleats cannot go on until game time. And then also bring your own bucket or bag of balls for the batting cages. You're in the Major League batting cages if you haven't been there before for this contest. Again, absolutely no sunflower seeds at Target Field in those dugouts. For the medal ceremony, we'll guide you down there. Tom may talk about this as well. We'll get you lined up and you'll do a handshake during the medal ceremony. So as one gets their medal, the other can come over and shake their hand. Obviously, Larry and his crew will be prepping on the field for the next contest or prepping after the game, after the 4A game. Gets a little crowded out there and they're very specific. Stay on that egg line off the edges of the grass too at Target Field. Tom, welcome. I know that you're here this morning. Any other details on the medal ceremony that you'd like to relay to the teams here?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations on getting to Target Field. Huge accomplishment. Yeah, usually I get yelled at by Larry if something bad goes wrong. So let's try to mitigate that. I think Bob really nailed it. Staying on the runway is absolutely key for not only the award ceremony, but if you have in between inning meetings that you want to have, please get off the grass. And when Larry really goes crazy is when we stand right on the edge of the grass and the dirt. And so he's very particular, and he should be, right? But these are things that we can mitigate. Again, on the award ceremony, please stay on the runway. Not only when you're getting your award, but when you're going to congratulate your opponent. Really do that. Stay in the on-deck circle. Stay on that on-deck circle. Again, during the game when your guy is going to hit, make sure you're doing that. Bob nailed it with turf shoes. I'll add one item to that. This question always comes up. When your starting pitcher is going to warm up in the bullpen, the catcher that's catching him and that pitcher can wear spikes. So they can put their spikes on to warm up in the bullpen. Yep, same with Bob with water coolers. Don't be pouring Gatorade, water over coaches. And have an assistant coach in charge of it, right? Head coaches, you guys have enough things to think about. So really have your assistant coaches help with that. And then after the awards ceremony, do a great job. And this is what baseball guys do, right? I mean, they clean up the dugout. When they're done, they get in, they get the dugout cleaned up for the next group, and the next group comes in. That reminds me about teams that come in to play the next game at Target Field. We always stage teams down the left field line. All right. So when your team comes early, we'll get them into the field and we'll put them in the stands, and they can be in the shade if they want. They can sit where they want down the left field line or anywhere. But once they have to get on the field, we'll take them in down by the tarp, down by on the left field line. So we'll get them in there. If you're in the first base dugout as the home team, you'll go across the outfield with your guys, with all your equipment, to get to the first base or right field side. All right. And the visiting team will take the third base dugout. If you're going to the third base dugout, stay on the runway. All right. We're going to hear that a lot, right? At Target Field, we're going to hear that a lot. Stay on the runway. All right. During infield, make sure that we're not on the mound. All right. Stay off the mound during infield. As a matter of fact, they're not really going to want a lot of people even standing in front of the mound. I think with tennis shoes on, it's not such a bad thing. But again, being off the mound is absolutely key. Bob mentioned batting practice. Here, I would highly, even though you're a kid at home, I would highly recommend that you let the kids at least see that batting cage that the major league guys use. Again, bring your own baseballs. That's down the third base line. We only use a third base dugout batting cage. And if you don't hit, you don't hit, but it's pretty cool to have the guys in there. So again, that would be my suggestion. Try to do that during the game, because we can't give one team an advantage over another team. Make sure that no one is using that batting cage for anything, to warm up, to hit ground balls and field ground balls, certainly to take batting practice. During the game, when your team is playing, nobody is in that. And even before, if you're waiting, nobody gets the extra batting practice in that third base dugout. That has been an issue at times. All right. So make sure when your time is done with hitting, that you're done in that third base batting cage. Oh, one more thing. During introductions, I know teams think about, they don't want to mess up the dirt for introductions and go on that baseline. You want to be on the dirt during the introductions, because everyone's going to be wearing spikes during introductions. So when you get introduced, make sure your team gets onto the dirt, not on the foul line, but on the foul side of the foul line, on that dirt, and remind them, don't stand on the edge of the grass and the dirt. All right, that's it.
Good. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you, Tom. And he does a great job of hosting you. And again, we're going to try and give you equitable experiences as well. Larry's going to be sensitive with that field down there with as much rain as they're going to get and have had. And as we say, he knows every blade of grass by name. So reiterate with your athletes again, stay on that track, as Tom called it, or the dirt, and off the edges of the grass. As we move in, one more item on this slide here as well. Only bring the people noted on the bus, because you'll be coming out around the back as you come into Target Field. Only the itemized people available in the dugout should be on that bus with you. You can drop the others out at the ticket booth or whatever if you'd like. But please only bring your dugout personnel in with you on that bus. Brian Hegseth will host you. And then let's get into the schedules, what they look like. Again, you'll have this sent out to you. And as we do that, I'm going to have Tim talk about headshots. So let's get into the schedules. We can come back to slide 5, Shannon, in a bit here. So Tim, welcome. And let's talk about what those headshots look like as we move through the schedules here.
Thank you, Bob, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be working with you in preparation for this terrific event. The guidance the Minnesota State High School League typically shares with a participating team in the Prep Championship Series is to come about 30 minutes earlier than you typically would before a ball game. The reason is we have a special treat for you to enhance the experience at Target Field. We have 2 lead photographers on staff be there to take shots of each of your players. Each of the jumbo scoreboard as your player is at bat. It's quite a thrill for participants, but the fans. The guy is you will be by a tournament host, and they will guide you down the photo area to have that done. It is a pretty swift process, but we do ask for about a 30-minute head start. There's media pieces to share.
Tim, I didn't hear a portion of what you said. Hopefully it was just on my end. You did break up a little bit.
Okay.
That being said, the headshots is a highlight. Encourage your families to take pictures and such up on that Jumbotron when their athletes are noted up there. Let's keep moving on here. So that Class A game, you can see we're starting at 10 a.m. if possible. I'll back up and say when we get back to slide 5, we are looking for a national anthem singer or singers. If you're in the tournament, we'd love to have someone sing the rendition of the national anthem if possible. As we move to 2A, you're going to know items again that are just a little bit different than that first game, but relatively the same. And then on to game 3, our AAA game, Class 3A. There's a little bit more of a break in that period of time as they do an enhanced field setup, very similar to what we did in 4A at CH as well. And then obviously our final game, 4A, we're set to begin the game at 7:30, and our schedule's in pretty good shape. We've been able to stay on time here for the most part, but if we do get an extra inning game or if something happens, that could be delayed. We would communicate with you, Ricky Michael, Brian Peliquin, Tom Groutman. Someone will be in touch with you if we are delayed for whatever reason. Let's head back to slide 5 if we could, Shannon, on items that I missed. Again, with this group, you did a really nice job in the quarters and the semifinals, respecting that umpire, communicating appropriately. Admin reps, if you're the AD or the principal, if you would check in with one of our tournament personnel upon your arrival. We want you down in front behind the dugouts with your student section. We need to know where to find you if something does happen. Again, really good job by our coaches. The team prop or the bench jockeying or bench decorum or dugout decorum has been really good this tournament. If there are any props, they need to stay in the dugout. Any props that come onto the field, we know that's a point of emphasis. You're going to hear from an umpire if that does occur, and we want to avoid that. All tournament teams will be announced. If you're playing in this game, obviously your athletes will be there. But we will do an all-tournament team following the contest. Pictures will be taken at that time as well. And then last but not least, Clyde Deppner is just doesn't it. He's a curator for the Minnesota Twins, and he does an unbelievable job. On display will be the teams that play at Target Field this year. Please bring a hat and bring it and have it at the game that can stay there for a year. Clyde will display that hat. You'll also sign a baseball that will be on display for the remainder of the year at Target Field. And you're going to hear from the Twins employees, Patrick Forslund, Clyde Deppner's another one, that this is one of their favorite days of the year, right? And they're going to celebrate baseball, high school baseball with you. Bring one of those hats so they can display that as well. All right, let's head down to slide 10. You will be receiving your complimentary tickets intended for your personnel to assist you with that, with those games on Monday. Not sure when they're going to come to you from our office, but you will receive those electronically. If you have any questions on that, feel free to ask as well. Otherwise, that's it for us. I would encourage, I'm not seeing anything in chat here this morning. Shannon, let's feel free to have them unmute And if there's anyone that's participated at Target Field before, have any words of wisdom, or if you have any questions, now's the time to unmute and ask those. Otherwise, we're going to let you go on your way for this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you on Monday at some time. Any questions and or comments? All right, going once, going twice. We'll get this meeting out to you again. Shannon, thanks for all your work. Appreciate all of you. Great job. Wonderful tournament. Let's keep it going. We'll see you on Monday at Target Field. Thank you.